Oh, I know that sound. It's time for the Beer and News Report. Hi, and welcome to the Beer and News Report. Cheers. Today, I'm drinking Tio Rodrigo Cerveza Clara by Tio Rodrigo Brewery. This is a Mexican lager, and I picked this one because it kind of goes with the theme of the show, as you'll soon see. I like this beer. It's made from flaked rice and Pilsner malt, so it's light tasting beer and quite refreshing. So if you like lagers, definitely check this one out. All right, cheers. I came across this great video by The Economist, a highly respected financial magazine, that uncovers a money laundering problem that the US might not be able to stop. It explains how rich Chinese people are working with possibly Mexican drug cartels to bypass the Chinese currency controls. And to be clear, it doesn't have to be a drug cartel or any criminal for that matter. Some underground brokers use legit businesses like trade invoices, casinos, real estate. But basically, these rich Chinese people have a financial problem that can't be solved by normal or legal means. I'm going to show you the video from The Economist, and then I'm going to break it down so you fully understand it. I found it quite eye-opening. All right? Cheers. Here's the video.
Mexican drug cartels have a problem. Billions of illicit dollars in cash sit trapped in American cities. Wealthy Chinese families, meanwhile, are often looking for ways to acquire dollars because China's strict currency controls mean they can't move their yuan abroad. But there's a new solution to both these problems: Chinese underground banking networks. These groups have become the kingpins of global money laundering by using a sophisticated new method which washes billions of illicit funds, often on American soil. It's called a mirror transaction. Imagine a wealthy mother in Shanghai who wants to buy a flat for her son studying in New York. Capital controls mean she can't move more than $50,000 out of the country. So she uses an encrypted messaging service to contact a broker from an underground bank. The mother transfers yuan to a Chinese bank account controlled by the broker. That broker is connected with someone who has dollars they're trying to get rid of. Someone like a member of a drug cartel. The dealer's money is placed in an American account this mother has access to, minus the broker's fee. The flat deposit is secured. The broker then needs to reimburse the dealer in whatever currency they want. If the dealer wants Mexican pesos, the yuan might be used to buy Chinese goods exported to Mexico, or it could be used to buy chemical precursors to make fentanyl. No money ever crosses international borders. There's no paper trail connecting the flat purchase and the drug cartel. Much of this is happening on American soil using American banks. Sometimes fake accounts are opened by corrupt bank employees. The dollars in these fraudulent accounts make up a tiny proportion of the money moved by Chinese brokers. America's Treasury estimates Chinese money laundering networks moved $312 billion through American banks between 2020 and 2024. The actual figure is likely much higher. These networks are operating on an unprecedented scale, and that makes them difficult to police. Back in the 1980s, when Colombian cartels ran money laundering networks, authorities were able to shut them down through a combination of extraditions and asset seizures. But police today can't access encrypted messages the way they used to listen in on phone lines. What's more, these vast underground banking networks operate across far more jurisdictions, taking advantage of the gaps between incompatible financial systems. And that means that, for now, brokers around the world will keep on cashing in.
Okay, at the beginning of this video, it's obvious if you watched any drug movie such as Blow or American Made, drug dealers always have too much money and nowhere to put it. Now, the next part of this video isn't as obvious. According to Chinese law, a Chinese person is limited to a maximum of $50,000.
Capital controls mean she can't move more than $50,000 out of the country.
And in case you didn't know, the currency in China is called the yuan. Well, $50,000 sounds like a lot of money, right? Sounds reasonable, unless you want your kid to live indoors, right? So it's really not that much. So what do you do if, say, you have a son that's going to college in New York City and he needs a place to stay? This is where you have to turn to the Chinese underground banking network in what's called a mirror transaction. And this has nothing to do with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Cheers. So here's how it works. A Chinese mom, let's call her Mei Mei, contacts a broker from the underground bank. Let's call him Bling, because if you're committing international financial crimes, subtlety is for suckers. I don't know how easy this is to do. I don't know how to contact an underground banker here in the United States, but I'm sure we have them. Now, Mei Mei then transfers yuan to Bling. The amount is equal to how much the apartment cost in New York City plus Bling's fee. Bling then contacts his underground connections, and this possibly could be a Mexican cartel person. Let's call him Jose. Wait a minute, that's too close to San Jose, where I live. Let's call him Rico. All right, Bling tells Rico to put the money in a bank account under Mei Mei's name. Mei Mei then buys that apartment or condo for her son. Let's call him Kevin. So he has a place to stay for college. So Mei Mei is happy, but now we have to pay Rico. Bling asks Rico what he needs that isn't money. This could be guns, consumer goods, electronics, fake invoices, and or chemicals to make drugs. That is what is shipped to Rico, so no money changes hand. Now, who pays for this shipment? Well, Mei Mei does with the money that she sent to Bling way back in the beginning of this story. But realistically, how many Chinese people can afford to do this? Well, let me tell you, China has over 6 million millionaires. So even if 1% of these people are doing it, that would be 60,000 people. And let's say this is spread over 10 years. Well, that's still 6,000 people every year doing this. That's not to say that 6,000 people are going to New York City each year. This is happening all over the world, but mainly in developed countries. All right, cheers. The beauty of this system is that there's no paper trail. So President Trump or any other country leader can try as much as possible to stop this, but without a way to track it, it's almost impossible to enforce. Actually, this is a pretty ingenious system. I'd like to say that 2 problems are solved with no one getting hurt, but these are drug dealers and big ones. I'm talking Mexican cartels, so whole countries are being overruled. It all comes down to money and the problems that come with it. I don't have this problem because, look at this setup. Well, at least I have beer. Cheers. Well, as you can see, my beer is almost empty, and that means we're at the end of the show. If you want to contact me, I can be reached at this email address. I hope you had a good time watching the show, and please click that like button if you did. Of course, if you want to get notified of a new show, click that subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it, and this will notify you when a new show has been posted. Until then, keep your beer cold and your just hot. Cheers.